Good morning. My name is Kimberlie Wright. Welcome to the class MSOON, the acronym for Making Something Out of Nothing. Today we have a continuation of our class when we were creating aluminum foil art. So I already had a piece that I finished with the foil, but we're going to talk about the tools that you need. And don't forget, you need to take risks. So the tools that I have aren't necessarily everything that you may need. You may be creative and need other materials or supplies. But for today, I have some pre-cut cardboard that makes really nice size pictures. This is roughly about 11 by 20. So I have a ruler. You're going to need an array of pens, pencils, and/or marker. I have Elmer's glue. It doesn't matter if you have clear or the white glue. A good pair of scissors to cut with. I have a glue stick. This happens to be Scotch, but you can use any kind you like. Of course, we have the material or the main medium that we're working with, which is foil. I said to you before, Reynolds wrap foil is a really good, strong foil. You can experiment with the foils at like the dollar stores if you like, but it's very, very thin and it tears very easily. So today I am experimenting with my own art. So that's the same thing you should do, experiment. I have a few wig heads that I'm going to use as a mold per se. I only need 2. However, I have 3 to choose which one has the better image or face. Also, actually it's really, really good to use cotton ball. However, I have some of that batting or cushion that you use when you are making quilts, or sometimes it's in pillows or things that you sew. So I have that. And you are going to need this Aleene's Original Tacky Glue, depending on what type of project you want to create. So the first thing I did, remember I said to you, fold the foil back and forth like an accordion. And then I traced about 3 to 4 size small leaves on there. You can trace them with a cookie cutter or just actually freehand the leaves out and cut them. And so I had 2 projects that were finished from that I showed last time. This is a flower that was created from the foil. As you can see, right now it has to be framed. So like I said before, you want to place like a center or a dot where you want your flower to be centered, and then before you can glue that circle down, but before you glue the actual leaves down here, you want to place each one around the circle so that you can have it measured out evenly how you want it, because if you start gluing down, you might make a mistake. But after you have glued this one circle down, and I used the glue stick for this entire project. You may not be able to see the color of my actual cardboard. However, I spray painted it with purple. It's purple. So after you have glued the leaves around the circle with a glue stick, then you can just freehand and place each leaf between the former leaves in between, and so therefore it'll end up even. Just take your time. All right, and so when you fold the leaves like an accordion back and forth and cut the leaves out, you'll find that you'll have a stack from folding it back and forth like an accordion instead of cutting each individual leaf out. However, when you have the foil stacked like that, you have to really carefully go through it, because you may feel like you have one piece when it's actually three, because the foil is so thin. All right. So another project I showed you last week was this particular piece, and I spray painted this board with black. And the first thing I did here, if you can see it, I'll even get closer. Right here, the parts that I'm touching. I showed you in the last class, I used the hot glue gun, and I hot glued a tree stump, or the actual tree, and I brought branches out to the side with the hot glue. Then I took a metallic paint after it dried and painted the actual trunk of the tree and the branches with the metallic paint. After that, the three sized leaves that I had, the first piece only had one size leaf, although it had the circle in the middle. This piece has three different sizes of leaves. And so what I've done is place them at the end of the branches. And I have a few more that I'm going to glue along the edge here on the back to make it just look a little bit more layered and a little bit more full on the top. And then I'll figure out later how I'm going to actually frame. So the reason why some of those leaves are popping off, like I said to you, I probably had more than one layer, not knowing it. And so the top layers are coming off because I really glued those down really well. And actually those is probably my leaves that I said I was gonna glue on the back. So let's just do a few of those. Finish those off. I don't want to press my leaves down because I have some of the edges up to give them a more naturalistic or natural look of movement. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and take a few of these leaves. I have about 4 more. And I'm going to glue them on the back where I see that I have some spaces to just complete it. So I'll pick that up and show it to you. So with the foil, you just want to, again, be really creative and have fun. I expect for you to just, don't make it so hard. Just do your thing and see what you can come up with. If you are creative and have a chance to create some of these pieces, if you have any finished artworks, don't forget that we had our first visual art exhibit that was on May 26th, the day after our Memorial Day holiday. We had our first exhibit, and it is included with myself and Jamal at 10 o'clock on every Tuesday at the end of the month. So we'll be having another one this month. And first class is with my class. It lasts about 20 to 25 minutes, and then you log off and log right back into Jamal's class. So the virtual art exhibit lasts for about an hour, and that gives you a chance to show your artwork and talk about it, possibly if you like, or give titles of the artwork and just your experience of creating the piece. So as you can see, I glued a few more leaves to the back of that to make it full in the front. It's just a simple tree, but it's beautiful due to the metallic or the flashiness of it. And you can be creative. Cut out a bird, make a bird out of aluminum foil sculpture and make a bird and sit it in a tree. Do your thing, be creative. However, you notice I haven't signed this yet and it isn't framed, so I might even add to it. Always revise and add to your pieces. Okay. So the next thing we're gonna do is, we tried this aluminum foil art in another class before, and and we had a few issues, and the reason why is that when you are drawing an image on your board, paper, whatever you have, first I've drawn an image, which is the Lion of Judah with a pencil. As you can see, you can draw any image you want. If you feel as though you're not the best person to draw, maybe experiment with some designs, simple designs, or you can even trace some images. However, I always encourage you to, if you get stock images or clip art offline, to change it somewhat so that you won't be plagiarizing or stealing someone else's art, so that you can be very original to get the proper recognition for your creativity. Okay, so I've drawn an image on here, and what you have to do is build some type of raised up surface or texture, like I did with the tree here with the glue gun, hot glue gun, so that when you place a piece of foil over this image, it's gonna be like a raised, embossed piece with the foil. So how you do that is, Elmer's glue is not what you want to use, because Elmer's glue is more liquidy and it actually just runs out when you try to draw the lines over your image of whatever you are planning on doing. So you want to use a Aleene's tacky glue, or if you find some other tacky glue, I just find that Aleene's works really well. Aleene's is the brand name, and the reason why you should use tacky glue over Elmer's glue is because Aleene's tacky glue is a little bit fattier. It's thicker and it holds up without running out to the sides. So I'm gonna do a little bit of that to demonstrate. And the reason why I have the cotton ball is because once you finish with this, we won't get a chance to rub the foil over this today, because the actual tacky glue has to dry completely, and that won't be dry until tomorrow. So the reason why I should have had one that was already dry, but however, one of the seniors asked me to start probably trying to do some of the pieces step by step all the way through, so that you can see each process. The foil, the cotton is for the foil when you are placing something over it, to help you smooth the foil out to the raised glue. All right, so the reason why I have these wig heads is because I thought it would be creative to try to experiment with putting the foil over the face to see if I could get an actual impression of the face and apply it to one of these boards as well. However, I am going to do the same process with adding the tacky glue and a design for the background of my mask. So just to move these to the side, I'm going to just start to outline this lion so that you can see the process of how that's done. And you want to take your time. If you need to practice on something first, then that might be the best bet, so that you don't actually mess up the piece that you are trying to complete. But again, there is no messing up in art. All you have to do is fix what you feel as though you've messed up, and the person that's viewing your art never knew what you planned on creating, so there is no messing up in art. All right, so I'm starting to use the tacky, outlining the picture that I already had. And just move your hand, guide it smoothly so that it doesn't pull or bubble up in certain areas, and you have to have a clean, open space so that as your hand is pulling the glue, you can see the lines as well. So right now I'm doing the crown on the Lion of Judah, and I'm going to show you crown as soon as I'm done. Now, if this was Elmer's glue, it would have already cooled down on the sides and ran over, meaning like it would not keep the same line that I'm putting down over my pencil image. So far, this is what I have so far. So I'm going to keep on going just to give you an idea. Then I'm going to take about 5 minutes to rub that foil over the wig head face to see if we can get a good image. So I hope you all join in with us for the art show on last Tuesday of the month. Let's see. The date for the show is going to be June the 23rd. Sorry, June the 30th. June 30th. That's the last Tuesday of the month, June 30th. Okay, so like I was saying, again, this gives a raised impression for when you are going to emboss the foil and rub it over the whole image, but you have to give it a full day to dry and make sure to touch it and make sure it's dry in every spot under the actual top layer of the glue. I'm going to keep on with that in a minute. However, I want to go ahead and show you how I'm going to take this foil and put it over these faces to make a mask. And remember, I said this is experimental. That's what you want to do. Experiment, be creative, come up with something new, be innovative. So I cut that foil down. I'm going to sit this to the side to give myself some space because I don't need that foil right now. And as I'm measuring the face, I only need half of that foil. I set that down, still have a lot left. So I can use 2 pieces. Use this for 2 faces. All right. So I'm going to sit that to the side. And I found a leaf that feels really thick to me. However, I'm going to go ahead and place that on the back of my, double leaves again. So I had a leaf that I found that fell on the floor and I thought it felt kind of thick. So I wanted to go ahead and add those before they get lost. And that one looked a little weird the way I placed it, so I have to put one on top. All right, so this class, MSOON, making something out of nothing, is all about using recycled products, things that you would generally throw away around the house, but not trash, not things that are soiled or have any type of liquids or damage to it. However, if it's something that you can fix and upcycle or recycle or reuse, please save the things. It could be all sorts of things that someone would never even imagine that you could use. For example, I made a doll out of magazine papers before, and it was a clown. So it is, or it was a clown. However, there was a light bulb that I purchased, and it had a plastic cover over it that protected the bulb, and it was in 2 halves. of the bulb, and I saved those 2 halves, and they ended up being the shoes, the big, large shoes for the clown. So you can save all sorts of things. Okay, I just added another leaf right here to this tree. Looks really good far back as well, really shiny. All right, so now I'm going to take the face with the eyes. I'm going to show you the 2 that I have. Although I have 2 women, I really want to create 1 man and 1 woman, but right now I have this lady with these eyes, the eyelids around here, has sort of like a regular, natural posed face, and this lady, her eyes are closed. However, you see this blemish on the side. Although I like this point on the nose, I'm trying to figure out if I want to use this one. So even though this one has the blemish on the cheek, I feel like it's a better, smoother face. So that's the one I'm going to use. However, we're going to start with one of the eyes first. See how that works out. Okay. So maybe, I'm not sure, but I'm just surmising. I'm going to put a couple of dots of glue, sort of glue stick around the face, so that when I start to rub the foil around it, it'll hold and not shift so much. And I will have you know, this is my first time doing this because I'm being experimental, so, which doesn't mean anything positive or negative. I'm just saying we're doing it together. All right. I'm going to place the face here on the edge of this table, the wig head. Actually, it's a groove right here, so it won't move. And I'm centering the foil. And the first thing I'm going to do is probably push it down towards the eye, where the face is recessed or deep. There's only so much you can do, so, you know, don't be hard on yourself. Do what you can. And I made sure to do 1/2 first. Remember, I put a little glue on it to help hold it. This is how it looks so far. Now I'm going to attempt to do the other half. As you can see, I'm using the base of it to press down on the table to give myself some stability. Okay, that worked out okay. However, I'm just going to show you how it looks in its rough stage. And now I'm going to rub over it with this cotton to see, or this cushion to see if it'll smooth out. So just keep working, young people. It's all experimental, try it out.